We're talking about the past perfect now on pages 46 and 48. The past perfect is used to describe a completed event that happened before another event in the past. So Elise finally met her sister Paula. Paula had been married for several years. Okay, this means that first Paula got married and then Elise met Paula at a later time. So this is the first thing that happened, and this one is later. And this is the past perfect, and this is the simple past. You form the past perfect with had, and then the past participle of the main verb, and form the negative by adding not after had. And the form is the same for all subjects. Okay, Elise and Paula did not grow up together. Now this is simple past negative. They had lived in different families. This is had, and then this is the past participle of lived, which is a regular verb. Live, lived, lived. They were available for adoption, simple past, because their birth mother had given them up. Here is the past participle, here is had, and the past participle, this is an irregular verb. Give, gave, given. And note the question in negative forms. Had she talked about the study to anyone at the time? No, she hadn't. What had you heard about the study before that time? I had heard very little about it. Okay, using the past perfect with simple past. Use the past perfect to describe an event in a time period that leads up to another past event or time period. Use the simple past to describe the later event or time period. So she learned that she had been part of a secret study. Here is the first thing that happened, and here is the second thing that happened. The twins discovered that they had both studied psychology. This is the first thing that happened. This is the second thing that happened. The prepositions before, by, or until can introduce the later period. The prepositions before, by, or until can introduce the later time period. So their mother had known about the study before her death. So here is the past perfect, the first thing that happened. Then her death there's no verb there, but the before is introducing something that happened later. So this happened, and this happened, and then this happened. Here is an example with until. She hadn't met her sister until last year. And an example with by. Studies on the twins had become common by the 1960s. This happened before this or by this. The past perfect is often used to give background information for later past events. She was late. She had forgotten to set her alarm clock. I'm using the past perfect to explain the reason for this thing that happened in the past. And the past perfect is often used to give background for later past events. She had never taken a subway before she moved to New York. So this is something that happened in the past, and this was a situation that is connected to it that happened before it. Or really, this didn't happen before it, but this is background for this. And we can look at this chart, if we think about the past perfect, and this is now when I am speaking, here's another action in the simple past, and I'm talking about a situation that happened before then. For example, I had studied English in high school before I came to the US. And now, here's another example where I've got now, simple past, and a repeated action in the past before the simple past. The day was the most incredible she'd ever experienced. So there's a time in the past, the day was the most incredible. And then many times before that she had experienced.